applying to the university and have your exams, and it's very hard to get in. Only every 12th student come in. So we get the cream of the students to study, to become a teacher. So they are top professionals when they graduate. I think this makes it also easier for me as a mother to trust. I can trust my children to somebody's hands who has studied quality master degree. This is very relieving. I don't have to control, I can trust the teachers. The benefits for teachers are quite okay, of course, long holidays, and the salaries are also in the middle. There is no country in the world where teachers are earning millions. Then some characteristics of the Finnish education. We have a national curriculum. Every school in Finland follows a national curriculum, talking about the basic education now. They have a national curriculum, but all the counties, all the cities, they have the freedom to choose how do they teach. So the basic ideas, basic competencies are given there on the top level, but the teachers, because they have the ability to design and discuss with the colleagues, they will decide how are we going to teach in our school. For example, in Lapland, in the very north, a lot of nature, a lot of, students coming from very far. Maybe they can consider this and teach some subjects in a very different way. South, maybe something else. So teachers have a lot of freedom to decide. And like I say, they are not controlled, they are not questioned. There is this very famous Finnish trust. We educate in my university a lot of teachers from abroad. And we always ask them, what did you find out here in Finland when you spend your months here in Finland? And this is what they find out, that there is this trust, this famous trust. We don't control, we don't inspect, and that is not needed. Also, characteristics for Finnish education is the wide understanding of learning environments. A lot of classes are held outside. We go to the nature. The students visit a lot of places. They go to museums, they go to public places. So the learning happens everywhere. We are not narrowing it inside the four walls. Learning is an active participatory action. And so forth. Here I have still compared, the specialities of the Finnish education. We believe in collaboration rather than competition. You can surely recognize some education systems where the competition is the focus. We don't do this. We collaborate rather than compete. Like, say, professional teachers instead of fast-track teachers. Personalization instead of standardization. So we think that learners are different. We cannot treat them in the same way. We have different types of learners. One learns by reading, one learns by doing, etc. We try to minimize standardization. I personally think that standardization is killing the creativity. And are you ready to take the responsibility of killing the creativity? What is then needed again in the work life? In Finland, when our university discusses with the companies in our region, this is one thing they tell us. Please teach them to be creative. We need new ideas. So there is something wrong. We have creative children. We are trying to kill them at school, you know, their creativity, not the students, their creativity at school. Something happens there, and then they are passive, and then they go to a work life, and this is asked again, where is your creativity? So maybe you spend some time thinking of this, the enemy standardization. Like said, all the schools are public. We don't have elite schools. We don't choose children go to the nearest school. We don't have a very hard class society. Of course, we have somehow classes, but still the children go to the nearest school. In the same classroom, we have students from all classes of the society. We are not underlining the classes, and the teacher is responsible for this. She cannot treat anybody according to some, you know, family background or etc. We don't have these national tests. We have only one national test, and this is matriculation examination when you are 19, when you finish your high school. We don't use this. So the children are kind of free to learn. We have tests, little tests, of course, but they are just to show the teacher where that student is, where his or her process is going. And trust-based, like said already earlier. We focus at the moment very intensively on personalized learning paths. We have an inclusive ideology discussed very you know, intensively this morning in our workshop, meaning that in every country, I think that learning disabilities are increasing, also in Finland. For some reason, I don't know why, some people have difficulties in reading, writing, concentrating, etc. You know maybe better than I. But we have them in the same classroom. We have decided to follow the inclusive learning. This is the society. We have all kinds of characteristics and people in our society. We have to learn to respect them and not put them aside, not put them in a different room. This is our philosophy. This means this statement that systems excellence in education requires that the entire society perform harmoniously means that the system has to be built so that I don't know if that is not a right thing to say here, but in Finland, politics are not affecting so much education. Our system is built this way that education is something fundamental. Of course, you think of the child, which is our diamond, we don't want that every 4 years, when the parliament changes and the politicians change, that they touch these diamonds. We give them a little power. They have the budget. Maybe they move this money from this pocket to this pocket, but it's kind of a minor detail. They don't touch the fundamentals, free education, equality, etc. So again, an idea you to discuss and think. Why do we change so often? Education is a very stable system. I don't think we should touch it every 4 years. It's about the students of small children, teenagers. We should not harm them by thinking of ourselves. We should polish these diamonds, what we have in our hands. This is our future. They are our future. Okay, this was in a very short presentation about the Finnish education system. This is what we respect. These are our fundamentals. Then about the future of education. You know, this picture is from the 14th century, some hundreds years ago. Nothing much has changed if you take a closer look. There is still the teacher in the front, the class sitting in rows like you are sitting in rows there. What do you see? You sit there maybe 9 years. You see the neck of your colleague. One is sleeping there, you know, there. If that picture would be from today, they would have their mobiles in their hands and, you know, secretly texting home. Not much changed. I think we should. You know, it looks very passive, right? Like this, passive. This is passive learning. I think we should design something else. When I was doing my PhD, I think the biggest lamp was the enlightenment I got was when I was reading somewhere that jails, schools, and hospitals have the same architecture. Can you imagine? It's still the same. It's still the same. We're living 21st century. We still have the same architecture in the schools, jails, and hospitals. Corridor, classes, classes, classes. Hospital, you know, rooms, rooms, rooms. Let's do something with this, okay? Promise? Let's move from these rows to something else. We have a new paradigm. There's a paradigm shift coming. What does it mean? Industrial era was 18th century, 19th century. That was the era that the king was the one who owned the resources. You came to school to get the information. You had to come to the classroom to get the information. How about 21st century? I think we have to start redefining why to come to the classroom. Why? The internet is full of good lectures. Even 7-year-old kids, they can open YouTube and start learning. If they want to learn how to play guitar, they learn from YouTube. So you'd better have good answers very soon to your children why to come to the classroom if you don't start shifting the school systems from industrial era to the knowledge society, where the knowledge is everything. But our generations can find the knowledge everywhere. It's not just in the classroom, inside these four walls. Absolute my favorite picture. We are still stuck with these subjects. Oh, we love this. You know, our teachers are subject teachers, biology teacher, math teacher, literature teacher, health and history teacher. The kids are kept in the school in these subjects, you know, within these subjects. They change class, now it's biology, now it's math, now it's something else. They are dancing between these subjects. And then when they face the life, it's something very different. Everything is mixed together. This is again the 21st century. This is the new era. We have to figure out something, how to deal with this issue. I'm not saying we don't need subjects, but on top of the subjects, we need something else. We need multidisciplinary actions. We need soft skills. We need all kinds of mixtures of new things. Technology and globalization are significantly transforming work. However, education and training systems, having remained mostly static and underinvested in 4 decades, are largely inadequate for these new labor markets. Additionally, a prevailing gender bias is introducing further inefficiency and inequality. We must therefore rethink the ways talent is developed and deployed in the world. This will require breaking down old silos between education systems and labor markets, more agile approaches to regulation, new forms of public-private collaboration, and new forms and values. World Economic Forum. We really have to reform our thinking first.
Primero.
My message today.
Mi mensaje el día de hoy es: vamos a movernos del aprendizaje pasivo al aprendizaje activo. Nueva generación, estas nuevas generaciones no están sentadas en silencio. No van a ir al salón de clase a sentarse y a escuchar. Necesitan actividad, especialmente los varones. Tengo 2 varones. Son muy creativos, necesitan mucha actividad física. Escuché que mañana va a haber un taller sobre eso. Espero, ¿verdad? Necesitamos repensar nuestra currícula para que los maestros puedan usar métodos activos. Aprendizaje activo es el futuro de la educación. Debemos dejar que intenten nuevas cosas, que fallen y que tengan éxito. No solamente apuntar hacia el éxito, también que enfocados en fallar, que los profesores sean más como coaches, entrenadores, dejar que los niños y los estudiantes estén en el centro del proceso de aprendizaje. Dejen que los maestros sean más coaches. Vamos a poner a los maestros de la nueva era. La nueva era pone a los maestros en las esquinas, como los árbitros. Antes poníamos a los niños malos en las esquinas, ¿verdad? Pero en el futuro, los maestros van a estar observando en las esquinas, dando instrucciones, pero dejando que los estudiantes actúen. No significa que vamos a dejar de enseñar, solo a reformar el pensamiento de cómo debe ser el trabajo de un maestro. Vamos a incentivar a nuestros estudiantes a activar su pensamiento, su creatividad. Esto automáticamente nos llevará a que no tengan tanto abandono de la escuela, porque la escuela se convertirá en un lugar interesante donde yo puedo presentar mis habilidades, no solamente pasivamente sentarme 8 horas al día. Esto no está bien para los niños y para nuestros adolescentes. Creo que esto, Sir Robinson dijo que no crecemos dentro de la creatividad, crecemos fuera de la creatividad. A esto me refiero cuando decía que matamos la creatividad en las escuelas, que debemos educarnos fuera de la creatividad. ¿Por qué no nos movemos de pasivos a activos? Aquí, si leen las estadísticas del Fórum Mundial Económico, están haciendo un listado de las habilidades para el 2020. Resolución compleja de problemas, creatividad, administración de personal, etcétera, etcétera, etcétera. Tenemos que mezclar esos requerimientos a nuestra paleta de diversidad. No solamente los colores básicos que teníamos, tenemos que pensar como maestros, como coaches, cómo puedo crear problemas para ser resueltos dentro de mi clase, cómo puedo enfocarme en crear pensamiento crítico, pensamiento creativo. Las materias básicas no son suficientes, son solamente una parte de la moneda, un lado de la moneda. Las demás son las habilidades blandas, se necesitan para que nuestros alumnos y estudiantes puedan administrarse y sobrevivir en la era del conocimiento. Mi respuesta a todo es maestros entrenados. No pueden lidiar con este cambio de paradigmas. Los entrenamos para dar conocimiento, para pararse delante de un salón de clases y compartir conocimiento. No los enseñamos para actuar de manera participativa en el aprendizaje. Tenemos que entrenarlos. Necesitamos apoyarlos. Ellos necesitan sus rectores, administradores, sus ministros que los apoyen para asumir la responsabilidad de entrenar a los estudiantes del futuro. Tenemos que pensar en las diferencias entre calidad y equidad. Esta es una foto muy famosa. Tenemos que encargarnos o asegurar que nuestros niños tengan equidad, no igualdad. Igualdad significa que él está dando lo mismo a todo el mundo, pero equidad es que usted le está dando a todo el mundo lo que necesita. Esto es el siglo XXI. Yo creo que el aprendizaje óptimo se crea cuando la felicidad, la actividad, la confianza están ahí. Esto trae como resultado el éxito. Así que tenemos que cambiar nuestras ideas del aprendizaje, sobre el aprendizaje. El aprendizaje es un momento de felicidad y nuestros niños, por naturaleza, son muy felices. Tenemos que ser pacientes. No debemos apurarnos, pero debemos dar el primer paso mañana. No esperemos a las próximas elecciones. Vamos a hacer algo mañana. Todo el mundo puede hacer algo mañana. La educación no es la preparación para la vida. La educación es la vida misma. Y voy a cerrar mi presentación con esta frase muy importante para mí. El maestro es la profesión más importante del mundo. Y los felicito a todos, maestros y educadores.
Como dice el refrán, es propio agradecer de quien ha recibido mucho. Creo que en esta noche debemos sentirnos agradecidos. El IDEICERD también se siente agradecido de la presencia de todos y cada uno de ustedes, de manera particular a los señores exministros de Educación, a los señores viceministros que nos honran con su presencia, a los directores generales, regionales, distritales, técnicos y docentes del Ministerio de Educación, directores de instituciones descentralizadas del Ministerio de Educación que nos honran con su presencia, invitados especiales que representan instituciones afines a la educación, instituciones gubernamentales vinculadas al sector educativo, señores representantes de instituciones especializadas de investigación. El Congreso continúa mañana con 2 importantes conferencias magistrales, a las 9 de la mañana y a las 5 de la tarde. A todos ustedes aquí presentes con nosotros, el IDEICERD le agradece su presencia en esta noche y a la salida podemos disfrutar de un brindis. A todos, buenas noches.